If you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Christine McIver.
Yes, my friends, here we are again. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Inspired Choices show. Tonight, we are talking all about business. We are talking about how can you have more money in your pocket. We're going to be talking about expenses. We're going to be talking about investment. And the big thing that we're going to do is we're going to change your point of view around what it is to have an investment in your business. And that is going to change your dance with your business. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Christine McIver. I am a business optimization expert. I love working with entrepreneurs to show them how they can really move forward and have more money in their bank account. And oftentimes it starts with what's going on between their head. So if you're someone, you've been in your business for a while and you're really ready to take it to the next level, or maybe you're just starting out and you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. Social media drives me nuts. I hate computers, whatever it all is. Reach out to me. I give everyone their first 30 minutes, no charge, to see if it's a match, because you know what? You're hiring me and I'm hiring you. And then we will decide if we are going to move forward and we're going to work together to create a very successful business. You know, one of the things for me is I believe that each and every one of us has great ideas and we know what we like and we don't like. And many of us are very, very creative. And through that creativity, we can make money. Now, what gets in the way is doing business. And I love doing business. So I love to share what I do with the world in a way that it contributes to you. I really do love, love, love business. And when I get to connect with someone and show them the way that I see business, it starts to change things for them. I've worked with clients for many, many years, and I've watched many of them really soar with their businesses and really grow and be very surprised at where they are in their business just a few years later. So tonight we are talking about investing in your business or racking up expenses. How many of us feel like, oh my God, everything is just so expensive. I have so many expenses in my business. Do you? Do you have expenses in your business or are they investments? And that's what we're going to talk about. So business costs are real in order for us to operate a successful, productive business. We all know that, right? Most entrepreneurs, though, see the costs as expenses and fail to understand where they should and already are investing in their business. Imagine seeing an investment as something that grows and adds to your business. You will have a different relationship with your investment than you do an expense. You will be excited to nurture that investment, assist the investment, and change your perspective on where you are being successful. So in this show, we are going to be talking about everything about creating a new perspective on investing, which will be your invitation to enjoy and prosper with your business in a whole new way. It is such an amazing thing when you start to really, really get this. If you have any questions or you would like to join live and type your questions in, you can come on over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room, where you can interact with everyone in the chat room and actually post your questions there. So let's get into it. So you know me, I'm always in the place of, okay, let's look at the definition. So what is an expense? Well, an expense is something you must have in order to run your operations. It's a must have. You have no choice with it. Okay, so we're coming back to the word choice again. You have no choice. An expense is a no choice situation if you are going to be in your business. And an investment, and we're talking about it in the perspective of being in your business, an investment is something that will provide a return, or it will be a contributing factor to creating a return. So we're not talking about just investing in the stock market. We're talking about investing in you and investing in your business. All right. So this is the perspective we're going to look at. So expenses, there's all sorts of different types of expenses. There's cost of goods sold, there's operating expenses, financial expenses, there's all sorts of different expenses. But we're going to differentiate both of the expenses and the investment with the mindset of a business, in the business way, not in the accounting way. So if you've taken accounting, and I've taken quite a bit of accounting courses, you're probably got in your mind what an expense and investment is. But I'm going to challenge you to look at this in a different way so that you can really see where you are investing. And you know what if a lot of these things that you've been thinking are expenses rather, have been pulling you down. Many people, when you think about an expense, when you look at the list of things that you pay every month and you go, oh, there's an expense, there's an expense, there's an expense. How do you feel? What's your response? Like, damn, this costs me so much money, damn it. Right? Most of us have a negative response on some level. Well, what is that doing for you? That is doing absolutely nothing except making you more frustrated, having you constantly question, why am I doing this? Is this really worth it? I don't think there's anybody that's been in their own business that hasn't done that, right? Whether you're doing that on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, or you're doing it at tax time, most of us question. And if you haven't, it'd be very unusual. Most business owners are questioning that. And you should be questioning where you're putting your money. You should be. But if you really want to change your relationship with making money, this is the show that we're going to be talking about that. We got a couple statements in the chat room. One of the participants says, yep, more money out of the bank. Exactly. Another one says, I feel pretty delighted at my expenses, but they're pretty minimal. Well, that's very cool. And I happen to know that this individual works from home, so that when you are working from home, you can reduce a number of the expenses, the actual expenses for a business. And of course, we saw that surge in 2020. That was one of the gifts of 2020, was actually seeing a surge of opportunities for people to create an income and create a business from their home. It absolutely is one of the best things. I'll tell you, my marketing manager in college said to the entire class that every single person should have their own business, whether they operate it full-time or part-time, or just an occasional sale going through there. What it does is it gives you the opportunity to lower your taxes. So if you're not in your own business yet, I really want you to start thinking about that, because there's so many opportunities with our taxes to lower our taxes. So you may be working full time and you're not happy about the taxes that are being taken. Well, this is one way to reduce that. But that's a little off topic. So I really want to get into really kind of giving you some ideas about these expenses and these investments. And I was thinking about the show today, and I was thinking about my mom one time, and when I was thinking about the different expenses and investments, I remember my mom saying the very first time I bought the first time I bought a car, my very first car, and she said to me, a car is nothing but a bill of expense. And that has stayed with me for many, many years. And I just thought, yeah, but I want one, right? How many of us said that? Yeah, but I want it, right? Well, in the case of purchasing a car, honestly, a car is an expense, unless you are in the business, like maybe you're an Uber driver. If you're an Uber driver or any other kind of taxi driver, then guess what? That car is an investment. That car is an investment. But the gasoline for that car, if you're an Uber driver or taxi driver, that is an expense for driving the vehicle, right? Because the gasoline is necessary in order to operate that vehicle. So the gas becomes an expense, but the actual vehicle is an investment. How many of you would agree that if you're using this for business, if this is your vehicle, that this is really an investment, right? Okay, we got some agreement in the chat room. Awesome. This is what I'm going to be doing is I'm really going to be going through this and having you look at many of these things. Now, many of us today, like my business is online. It used to be in person. It's all online today. There's millions of businesses that are online today because we have computers, which is very, very cool. And so we're going to look at the expenses from being in business online. So if you have an online business, would you say that email is an investment or an expense? I'd love to hear what people have to say while I just take a quick drink of water. Yeah, if you are using a computer, if you have a computer and you're using email, is it an investment or isn't it an expense? Someone says an investment. We need to stay in touch somehow. Right. But there are other ways to stay in touch. So actually email, paying for an email address, email is actually an expense because it's something that you have to have. It's not necessarily something, if you're doing an online business and that's the way you communicate, it is an expense. Now, a website is actually an investment because you do not have to have a website in order to operate a business. You have to have email if you're using online. Now, you could use the telephone, but most people are not using a telephone with an online business, especially if it's a global business. Okay, so a website is actually an investment. It is something that is going to contribute to you creating income, right? So this is an investment. So I want you to start seeing the difference on that, because your point of view about paying that bill is going to start to change your relationship, the way you look at things. All right. Let's say, like myself, you're using a video recording program like Zoom or something like Zoom. I can't think of the other names right at the moment. Is that an expense or is it an investment? What do you guys think? It's actually an investment because, again, you do not have to use a recording program in order to communicate with people. You could communicate with people through a telephone. If you have a smartphone, you could be using an app on the phone that, you can video conference with people, or you could be just emailing with them, right? So a Zoom or a video recording program is actually an investment. And why is it an investment? It's an investment because the time that you're going to put in to communicate with people, you make a greater connection when you're seeing them face to face. You get to build trust with them because they can see you, they can see your background. Don't have a blurry background. You need to create trust with your clientele. All right. And so they can see you, you're a real person, the voice matches, what you're saying you're going to provide for them. They are getting to know who you are and they start to feel confident with who you are. So the video recording program is definitely an expense now, or an investment rather. Now, a computer, if you're operating an online business, is a computer an expense or is it an investment? Again, let's go back to the original definition of what an expense is. In this case, you must have it in order to operate your business. So in this case, a computer is actually an expense. Now, a computer mouse is also an expense, right? For the most part, most people are going to need to use an external mouse. Now, what if you want to have a large monitor? Is a large monitor an expense or an investment? A large monitor is actually an investment. And the reason it's an investment is because you're going to be able to see a larger amount of space. You're going to be able to have more windows open. You're going to be able to save time and increase productivity. So it is an investment. It's not mandatory in order to operate an online business, but it does speed you up. Karen says, I'm doing very poorly at this game. Well, you're learning, and that's the important thing. So can you see when you're looking at something, when I actually have two large monitors. And so when I was looking at it and looking at the cost of these things, I was like, well, I don't really need it. I can operate my business without it. I do want it, definitely came out. I do want it, but also looking at what is the logic of this? What is this going to create? How is this going to contribute, right? And so increasing productivity, you're investing in something that's going to make something better. That's absolutely an investment. Kim says, I think any subscription services you pay for are investments. They're aimed at generating income. Exactly. So you're starting to get how important this is in the differentiation between them. All right, we are up for our first break. If you are on Facebook, I would love you to come join us here in the chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. If you are on TikTok, please post your comments, questions, or you can certainly join us here as well on the network. If you're listening to this in the replay, feel free to post your questions wherever you see this, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Or you can always send me an email, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. Don't go away. We've got a lot more to talk about so we can really start to change things for you and turn up that income in your back pocket. We'll be right back. I am Christine McIver with Inspired Choices on Inspired Choices Network. See you shortly.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, tonight we're talking all about investment or expenses. So do you look at your business and think, oh my God, I am racking up expenses after expenses every month? Do you feel like when you're looking at your bottom line that you're wasting your money? Are you always looking for ways that you can cut back on expenses, right? Are you considering getting rid of this or getting rid of that? Well, what I would really love to invite you into tonight is to begin to change your perspective about really what is an expense and what is an investment. Why is this important? Your relationship with your business, really one of the biggest places you have a relationship with your business is, and I hear this from clients all the time, oh, this business just is not making me any money, right? And at the beginning, maybe it's not making you any money. Maybe it's a break even. If you are continuously in the red, then definitely you want to have somebody of a professional look at that with you. But if you are looking at your business and you're kind of moving along, but you've got this point of view, like, oh, it's just not making me the money I want it to be making me. And you have that relationship time and time again, I would suggest that you are thinking about parts of your business in a negative way. You're thinking about, oh my gosh, I have to pay for this and I have to pay for this and I have to pay for this. And I understand that, with the business that I have. So besides being my own business coach, I'm also the CEO of Inspired Choices Network. And there are a lot of different third-party providers that I actually hire to help us run this business. So, some of it is like Zoom is one of the products that we use. We have a broadcasting platform that we use. We have a storage site that we use to keep all of the recordings and the images. We have different programs, different third-party apps that we utilize to actually broadcast all of the content, both the TV and the audio. I mean, I could give you a long list of them. And I remember a time when I would look at that and be like, oh my gosh, like this is so damn expensive. This is, oh my God, like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And there was something that clicked inside of me when I actually started to look at what could I get rid of? What could I get rid of? And I would go, well, I can't get rid of the broadcasting platform because I want to broadcast a broadcasting company should be broadcasting. I definitely we had moved into doing TV, so I didn't want to get rid of Zoom. And so I started to go through all of these things and said, no, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to do this. And I would have kind of like an internal conversation as well. Why do I want to have TV? Why do I want to have, why do I want to have it broadcast? Why do I want to have these things? Well, what I needed to do, and I really want to encourage you to do this, is come back to why are you doing what you're doing, right? What's the purpose of your business? Is it a product? Is it a service? What are you providing in what you're doing? What lights you up is very important to look at. And then look at how you would love to bring, how you would like to create relationships with your prospective clients, and how you would like to have your content, whether it's a service, it's a product, it's some kind of recording, how you would like to have that service or product visible in the world, right? Where do you want it to show up? Where do you want to be interacting? Where do you want to be offering and be findable with your content? Those are some of the things that is important. What's important to you, and where do you want to have this, and what makes sense? And then there is the aspect of, are you the person that should be doing that, right? So, you want to be looking at team members. Are you going to hire people to be on your team? Are they more capable and competent at doing some of the tasks than you are? You as the leader, like for myself, I shouldn't be touching every single solitary thing. It doesn't make sense. If I want to grow my business, I absolutely need to surround myself with a strong team. And I am. I have two amazing people on my team that are just outstanding, and they make my job so much easier. And by the way, we're looking for another team member. So if you're interested, send me an email, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca, and I'll tell you all about the position that's available. But you really do want to look at these expenses, these payments that you're making every month, and really look at, okay, this is what I want to be doing. This is how I want to be doing it. And I really do want to have a TV show. I really do want to have all of these audio recordings out on 80 plus podcast platforms. I really do want to have things run efficiently. So I want to make sure that, my website's being able to move quickly. So I want to store things. I want to have a good tech team that's there to respond if there's issues. And that, all of that, being able to respond, being able to have good storage, the efficiencies are an investment. And why are the efficiencies an investment? because the interaction that the clients and the prospective clients are going to have is going to be one of a more positive situation. And so when it's more positive, they are going to want to interact and hire us to be their source for what the services that we provide, right? So all of these things are an investment. So when I started to change my point of view around these bills that I'm paying every month, I kid you not, my relationship with my business became more exciting. And I stopped having such a negative point of view towards it. I stopped being like, oh my gosh, look at all these expenses every month. I stopped doing that. And I started saying, isn't this exciting? We're growing. Look at this is evidence. This is evidence that we're growing because we're showing up on TV. We're showing up. We're now on 450 platforms. All of that is an investment. What's next? I don't know what next is, but each and everything that we are adding to the business is adding to the growth of the business. And every one of these items that we're adding, for the most part, are investments. So I hope that this is starting to really land with you. And when you start to change what you're looking at from the perspective of an investment, that you start to have a different relationship. So just imagine, well, I don't know why this popped in my mind, but my mom and dad had many children. I am the 10th of 11 children. And my mom, other people would say to me when I would tell them that, oh my gosh, it must have been so expensive to raise all of you. And I can tell you truthfully, I never once heard my parents say anything like that, insinuate anything like it was expensive. They were happy to have us, and they were happy to create beautiful meals. And I felt rich growing up. I really did. We were never hungry. We had the most glorious meals. We always had warm clothes. We always had nice things. I mean, we didn't have brand new things all the time, but we were not without. And my parents didn't have the point of view that we were an expense. Now, some of you out there might have had that projected at you, that you were an expense, you were too expensive, like having that many kids was a stupid thing. How would you take that? If that was something said to you, I can only imagine. Well, can you imagine saying that to a child? You wouldn't say that to a child. Why would you say that to your business? Why would you say that to any aspect of your creation? Why? You wouldn't do that. There's someone in the chat room that says we were an expense and there was just two of us. Wow, it creates such a different relationship. And I'm curious if you felt, the person that just made this comment, did you feel your children were an expense when you had them? Because certainly that's something that could be passed down from generation to generation if that is your point of view. And most of our points of view and most of our beliefs are actually embedded in us when we are young children. And we often pick that up and take that with us for many, many years until it becomes so uncomfortable, we change it. And she says, definitely at times she has felt that way. So, and that's not unusual. When we are willing to look at these things and really dive into, I want to have a different relationship with my business. I want to enjoy what I'm doing in my business, and I want my business to grow. When you are enjoying your business and when you are looking forward to what you're doing, you are going to be in more of a receiving space. You're going to receive new creative ideas. You're going to receive new people into your business. You're going to have the energy of openness and receiving. That is going to translate to customers, to prospective customers, to clients. If you join a conversation with a client or a customer or a prospective customer or client, they are going to pick up on how much you enjoy your business, or, maybe even you're surviving your business. That is not going to garner new sales and new opportunities. I really, really hope that you're understanding what I'm saying and you start to see you can change your relationship with expenses. you can create the mindset more of what truly an investment is, and start to ask for what else. This is the one question I ask all the time. What else? What else? What else? And what I am essentially saying is I'm putting that out to the universe. What else? What else? And the universe keeps providing me with new opportunity and new possibilities. This is available to you as well. This is available to anyone in their own business. I really encourage you and invite you to add this to your daily thoughts. What else, universe? What else? The universe wants you, the world, God, Buddha, whatever works for you, wants you to be happy and wants you to have a beautiful experience. The most of us have a terrible experience because of our point of view. And these things we can change. Okay, we are up to our next commercial break. You are listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver. I hope to see you after the break. Stay tuned.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I am very happy to have you. And if you're listening in the replay, I would love you to put hashtag replay. I love to see what people are doing when they're listening, when they're able to join. And again, if you have any questions or comments, or even if you're wondering if something is an expense or if something is an investment, join us in the chat room right now, or feel free to send me an email and ask me in an email. So it's Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. So we've been talking all about the difference between the expenses and the investments. And really, we're starting to lean into talking about your mindset around them. And it's such a big piece of operating a business. When you have hope, when you have excitement, when you have pleasure in your business, you show up differently in the world, and other people notice. Other people can feel your energy. It's not always easy. It isn't. Being in your own business is tough. You know why? Because the buck stops with you. You have to make all of the decisions. You have to have all the hard conversations. You're the one that has to pay the bill at the end of the day. You're the one that answers to your customers. But guess what? You're also the one that gets to make the final decisions. You're the one that gets to actually reap most of the rewards, if not all of them. You're also the one that gets to step back and go, I created that. And it's pretty exciting. It also gives you an opportunity to maybe be at home, so you're saving on expenses driving to and from work. It also gives you the opportunity perhaps to fit into a family plan in a different way. There we have so many opportunities today that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, they never ever had. And I just can't wait to see all the opportunities that are coming in the future. Like I said before, having your own business is one of the best investments you can make in yourself and in your family. And what if doing that can also be pleasurable? That's what I would love to talk to you more about. Okay, let's get back into the show. So I've got another few lists, and I'm curious which ones you think they are, whether they're an expense or they're an investment. So if you need to take a training course to learn how to create an evergreen product, is that an expense or is that an investment? Oh, they're quick on the draw now. Yes, it is an investment because it is investing in creating more business. Okay, what about an accountant or a bookkeeper? Is that an expense or is that an investment? Yes, any training for sure. Any training is an investment. Exactly. So the accounting, an accountant or a bookkeeper is an expense. It's actually an expense. Now, if you have an incredibly small little business where you only have a few invoices or a few things to enter into an accounting book, you could learn how to do that, and then you could do that work yourself. But I want to really invite you into looking at having a business. You know, if you would like to be making $50,000 to $100,000 a year, having an accountant do your books, you know, a bookkeeper and an accountant, having them do that is going to save you time. And more than likely, you're going to be able to pay them less per hour than you can make per hour. So that is an expense. All right. Having an accountant, especially if your business is incorporated, having an accountant, you have to have an accountant do your taxes. It's very, very difficult to do them yourself. And that is absolutely an expense. Now, taxes, the taxes that we have to pay through businesses, that's also an expense. Absolutely is an expense because you cannot operate your business without it, right? So when you look at something as an expense and you are low on your sales, right? Your instant response can be very negative. But when you begin to understand that these things are investments and you start to separate them out, and I would really encourage you to do that. Sit down, maybe get an Excel spreadsheet and start to list things under two different columns and put the amounts in there. Put the amounts in just for 1 month. This is just to start to change things in your mind. When you're doing something like this, when you are actually writing it out and your eyes can see it and you can see the calculations and you've gone through the process of dividing them out, you start to create a new neural pathway with your point of view about your business. And so when something occurs in your business, when you're looking at maybe up leveling your business or doing something different, you will start to question, is that an expense or is that an investment? And then your mind will start to teach you again to look at the investment and what's the return that I can get. And I really want you to expand on your understanding. Even saying it out loud to yourself. Okay, yes, so I'm investing in this. So the reason I'm investing in this is because this, and this. So for myself, I'm going on my first physical business trip out of the province. I'm going from Ontario to Edmonton tomorrow morning. And, there is the cost of the plane ride. There is the cost of supplies that I'm taking. There's the cost of, eating and whatever else that's going on. Any investment that I have to make in order to go there. Now, most of us would say it's an expense. The plane ride is an expense. It's actually not. The plane ride is an investment to go be in person and interact with different people to expand the possibility of creating new customer relations. All of it is an investment. Okay, So I'm just reading the chat room. Any training is an investment. Yep. Accounting is an expense, and hopefully save time on taxes with their knowledge. Exactly. That's exactly right, Karen. You can, I haven't even started to talk about your time, right? The amount of time that you invest in doing something that someone else can do much faster, that makes that and your time an expense, because you could be working with clients, you could be creating or being available to interact with customers and clients, and maybe even networking and creating new relationships, which all would be an investment. So it's an interesting dance where your time becomes an investment while you're paying for an expense. So that in that case, it nearly wipes that out, right? It kind of makes that neutral, but it really overall, it's an investment. On the overall perspective, when an accountant is being an expert, you're not getting in trouble with your books, with the government. When they're being accurate, they're doing their very, very best. They're keeping you on the up and up. They know the latest changes. They're taking care of even interacting with the government on your behalf. And you're able to go out and get new business, interact, and do the things that is going to generate more income. You could also look at this as an investment, right? It's such a cool thing when you start to unpack all of this. So let's go to a couple more. So the latest cell phone, is it an investment or is it an expense? There's kind of two ways to look at this, but the way I was looking at it, especially with having an online business and having social media, the way that possibly many of us are interacting with customers, interacting with social media, the latest cell phone would be an investment. Now, the latest cell phone doesn't mean you get every single latest cell phone, because then that becomes just an expense. But having an excellent cell phone, a current cell phone, a cell phone that operates very well, is an investment, because many, many, many of us are utilizing our phone as one of our pieces of equipment in our business. It's not just a phone, right? So my expenses with my cell phone are actually written off because they are something that I am utilizing in my business. All right. What about a fancy phone cover for your phone? What would that be? Is that an investment or is that an expense? Now, you are not a trendsetter that I'm talking to. So a fancy phone cover would actually be an expense. Okay, we got another comment in the chat room. When I upgraded my phone, it was an investment. Buying another just to have the latest one would be an expense. Exactly. Yes, a fancy phone cover is definitely a waste of money unless you are actually advertising with that. That could be an investment in garnering new business. So there's always like, what are you doing with that? Is there an exception to this? And there are exceptions based on how you generate money and income in your business. Okay, so your payroll. Is your payroll an expense or is it an investment? What do you guys think? So whether your payroll is for yourself or you're paying other people in your business, is it an expense or is it an investment? This is a nice game we're playing tonight, don't you guys think? I'm having fun. All right. Payroll is actually an investment. Payroll is an investment because you are investing in individuals that are contributing to your business, that are going to increase productivity, which is going to increase sales and production, right? So all of your payroll is actually an investment. You are investing in your business, and here's the cool part, you're also investing in those individuals who are part of your team. You're investing in their dreams, in what they require in their life. It's very, very cool. Bank fees. Bank fees, of course, are an expense. What about rent? What do you guys think? Now, think of this from a business perspective, not from a living expense. What do you think rent is? We're going to go to our next break of the show. I'm going to answer this about the rent when we come back. You might be surprised with what I have to say. So you are listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver on the Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back after the commercial.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for joining tonight. I've been having fun. I hope you have too. We've been talking all about differentiating between an expense in your business and an investment in your business. And when you start to do that, you start to create a different relationship with what you are creating, and you start to look at your investments as real partners in generating new business for yourself. And this is very, very important, so that as you are going about your day, you are putting out the energy of joy and pleasure, and, really about, I love what I'm doing. When you work with people that love what they're doing, they bring their A game. You want people to know you're going to bring your A game. So when you're having more pleasure with your business, when you're having more joy in your day-to-day operations, that is going to translate into income. I don't want you to do it just for that. I really do hope that you create your business in a way that you have a lot of pleasure. You're going to have challenges. You're going to grow. Growing, up leveling, there's growing pains. You've never been in business before. If this is your first business, for sure. And if this is a different business, it's still new. And so learning how to dance with that and learning how to be in a place of enjoying your business and having more pleasure than you've ever had before is very, very important. So before we went to break, I asked about what you guys thought rent would be. Would rent be an investment, or would rent actually be an expense? Well, it's a bit of a trick, because rent can go either way. We have somebody in the chat room that says, I keep going back and forth with rent. If I did not pay rent, then I had nowhere to see clients, yet it feels like an expense. Exactly. So here's the thing. Many of us are living where we're living. We're in our own businesses, and we are already paying rent. So if we're living here, the rent that we're paying is actually neither. It's not an expense. It's not an investment, right? Now, if you got a bigger home because you wanted to have your business have its own room or rooms, then it definitely would be an investment. If having those rooms increase productivity, then it's an investment. If having extra rooms was just because you like to have separate space, or you didn't want to have to hear anybody or anything like that, then it can be an expense. Now, if you have the space in your home, but you don't want to do operations out of your home, and then you get a space outside of your home, then that rent is an expense, because in order to do your business, you have to have it, right? So I know it's a bit of a tricky one, but if you really love going away from your home and doing business and seeing clients or doing operations in another location, and that brings you more joy, then guess what? It actually is an investment for you. This is not about accounting, like I said before. This is not about saying this goes under this column or this goes under that column. This is not what it's about. This is about your relationship with your business. Okay, we have a great comment. Sounds like it's just important that you're not resenting the money you're spending on your business. Exactly. Because if you're resenting the money you have to spend on your business, you start to resent your business. And then you start to resent your clients. And then you start to be miserable and put out the energy all of the time. That could lead to poor health. That could lead to employees leaving. That can lead to certainly clients leaving. Your mindset about your business and the monthly payments that you are putting out every month will have a huge impact on your resources that are coming in, on all of the business that you're bringing in. This is not just a one and done thought. This is something I really want you to get proficient at, looking at what you're paying and how does that actually invest in increasing productivity, increasing visibility, increasing opportunities. When you're looking at that as this is creating opportunities so I can get in front of these people, or writing a book. I know Bronwyn is our next host coming up after my show, and her new book is coming out shortly, and she has invested in an editor. She has invested in a publisher to create a book that is going to bring her message out to the world, and that is going to garner new business for her. This is all an investment that is going to contribute. So ask yourself, does this bill contribute to me and to my business in any way? A fancy phone cover contributes to your ego. That's an expense, right? A large monitor increasing productivity contributes to you and to your business. There's the differentiations. Just a few more. Operating licenses. If you need a license to operate your business, it's an expense, right? Professional certification, that's an investment. That's an investment because you're growing your abilities, you're growing your knowledge, which is absolutely going to have you be out there with clients in a better, greater way. So I think that's about it. I already talked about the travel costs. I hope you had fun. I certainly did. And I know that as we keep digging into all these different aspects of business, we start to create a different relationship with ourselves in business. And that is going to translate to our customers and our clients and our prospective customers and clients. And when you are having fun in your business and you are feeling confident in what you're doing and you're not being pulled down by anything that's going on around you, especially your point of view about money with your business, that's where you can create such a different experience. And that's where you can become much more prosperous. And you can be a guide for other people as you're bringing more joy into your life and into your business. I thank you all so very, very much for being here. We'll be back again next week with another show all about business and all about how you can have more of everything in your life and in your business. Until next week, I want you to remember you can always make another choice. Reach out to me, send me an email, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca, or check out all of our content here on inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Bye for now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.